Okay, hello everyone. This is a hashtag Finance Friday coming at you all the way from Johannesburg in a hotel room, which is a little bit messy, but hey, that's what happens when you are marking papers until 10 o'clock at night, which is what I was doing tonight. So this is a late night Finance Friday coming all the way to you. And what I wanted to talk to you guys this month is all about team, because really, if we think about it, team is the thing that can make or break our success. So a team is defined as a group of people who perform interdependent tasks to work toward accomplishing a common mission or specific objective. I think this is true whether you are a solopreneur or you have a massive workforce of employees. Teams come in different shapes and in different sizes, but one thing is certain. We all need people that can join forces with us to work towards accomplishing those goals and missions and objectives and grand visions that we have for ourselves and for our businesses. Now, as a solo entrepreneur, team might look slightly different from your conventional idea of having employees. It could be having family or friends or mentors that come alongside you. But I think at the end of the day, we can all really agree that we have a team of some sort. We have people that come around us, that support us, that just want to make sure that we are going to succeed. Because really, without a team, we are bound to fail. And that is one of the things that makes an entrepreneurial journey so lonely, is that we don't always have that team that comes alongside us and that surrounds us and makes sure that we pass or that we succeed, right? So today, I want to ask you if you've got the right team around you. Because if what I've said is true, that team is critical to making sure that we are successful, we need to make sure that we have the right people around us. So I have a few things that I want you to think about as you think about choosing the right team or even evaluating your current team to see maybe you have some gaps or maybe you have some areas that you need to address. So just a couple of things. Firstly, are they excellent communicators? Do they listen? Do they reply? Do they respect the people that are within the conversation? And are they available to you and do they respond to your requests? That's number one. Secondly, are they self-disciplined and are they well organized? And are they self-motivated while we're at it, right? Because that's really important. Because sometimes having processes can help go a long way to making sure that someone is organized and structured, but knowing that they are fundamentally like that, that's part of their core of who they are, some of those characteristics of who they are, that can really make all the difference. So that's number two. Number three, do you have the best fit for the role? Now, I've made this mistake in the past often. I hire the person because I like them or like they seem like they're really passionate about what I do, or I don't know, we somehow seem to click. But then I change the role to fit the person. And I can attest that this does not work out very well in the long term. So maybe in the short term, and you can really start developing the full potential of that person. But at the end of the day, if they are not fulfilling the role that you have envisioned for them, it can make it really hard to make sure that you're actually achieving those goals and objectives for your business, because there are areas that they are not fulfilling. Okay, so it really helps to make sure that you spend a little bit of extra time making sure that you're clear on what they need to do, and then spending maybe a whole lot more time on finding the right person. And more on that's just now. Okay, so we've got 3 points. Are they excellent communicators? Are they well organized and self-disciplined? Do you have the best fit for those roles that you have in your business? And then number 4, are they resourceful and are they influential? Now, this can maybe be a little bit difficult to think about, but think about whether you need to spoon feed or micromanage them, okay? Or are they taking initiative? You have better things to do with your time, don't you think, than having to run after someone, making sure that they know exactly what to do at any given point in time and having to solve all of the problems that come up and having to make all of the decisions in terms of what they are responsible for, right? It can be really exhausting. So it's really important that they know where to find answers and that they take the initiative to actually go find some of those answers. And they need to be influential. So what I mean by that is individually, they should be amazingly connected and have a great network of people to be able to make sure that as an entire holistic team, that you have a grander network that is interconnected with one another and that can leverage off one another. And in that way, you can grow your business so much better. Okay, then the next one. Is your team committed to you and to their role? Now, you might have heard it said that it costs about 3 months worth of salary to be able to onboard and train someone. So it's always going to make more sense to try and keep your existing employees than to try and find a new one, right? So if you want to avoid the issues of retraining, re-recruiting, and redoing everything on a very regular basis, you can do that by making sure that you find people who are committed to being with your business, that can buy into your vision, that is really committed to being there for the long haul. Because without committed people, your team is doomed to fail. Now, Gary Mitchell, an IT specialist and project manager at Superior Papers, believes exactly that without committed members, every project team sets itself up for failure. And this is what he says. During your interview, let candidates know what they can expect from the role. And once they've acknowledged, ask them directly whether they feel challenged and why, or motivated and why, by your project's goals and by the culture of the company and the team that's going to be present for probably a long time in their lives. Always seek committed individuals. Okay, remember, you're not trying to onboard someone just for the next month or 2 months or 6 months or even 12 months, right? It should be a relatively long-term commitment that you're looking for. So keep that in mind as you are recruiting. So now you might have gone through this process before and you've employed people that you like and maybe some people that you're friends with or maybe even family members, and maybe you have suffered some of the consequences of making those decisions. So I want to leave you with 3 things to remember as you are recruiting and hiring people to join your team. Firstly, make sure that you're building your foundation. Making sure that you have a successful business, whether it's a startup or whether you are further down the road, you need to make sure that you have a strong foundation. Now that means the owners, the business owner, the founders, the co-founders, whatever. Before you bring new people on board, make sure that you are clear on who is in leadership and what is the decision-making process that is going to go along with their leadership position. And make sure that you have a clear chain of command that goes along with that. And then think about what type of help you need and what sort of positions you need to start fulfilling. Because that is a big problem, right? We often start rushing into this idea of making sure we've got team and, having people on board, but there's so much more that we can look at than just simply having full-time employees on board. And full-time employees are great, like, don't get me wrong, but there might be alternative solutions, like getting contractors or outsourcing some of your services or just partnering with someone else in a different way that might not be in an employment relationship. It still forms part of your team, right? Just in a slightly different way. So that's the first one. Then the second one is find some rock stars. So I know that you all know of some amazing people that are potentially in your team or that you see in other people's teams and you're like, yes, I want that person. But sometimes you don't really know what to look for in that person, right? So if you are starting to build up your own team of rock stars, you need to know what to look for. So you're not just looking for skill in this person. Your rock star should have a friendly personality and a demonstrated ability to really knuckle down and get things done, because that's what you need as a business owner, right? You need someone that can partner with you in that. And most importantly, that rock star needs to be adaptable. They should have multiple talents or be able to switch between multiple roles at least, whether it's project management or admin or HR or whatever, it doesn't really matter, okay? Although expertise in one area can be really great, proficiency in a broader range of areas is actually so much better. So be open to people who don't want to limit their experience to one field of expertise or experience in your business. And also start looking for someone that wants to take responsibility and wants to be accountable for their deliverables. Like they should want to have KPIs in place. They should want clarity in terms of what your expectations are, and they should want to drive those things. Okay, that is a rock star. And as I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be an employee. You might find that you have a partner that comes alongside you and can really fulfill that role significantly. Okay, and then the third and last one that I want to mention today is make sure you check your compatibility. Like, seriously, it's so important to make sure that you have an alignment in terms of personalities, not just with you, but with anyone else on your team. They often say getting a founder, a co-founder, or a partner on board is comparative to marrying someone. And it's true, because you are going to be spending a whole lot of time together, and it might actually be more time than you would be spending at home, other than the fact that we are working from home at the moment. But make sure that the rest of your team can work with whoever you are onboarding. And be careful of making snap decisions. Really take some time, do some research, make sure that you are getting to know your potential employee, and make sure that that the rest of your team also has the opportunity to get to know that candidate. And also remember, the rest of your team might see some things that you don't. So it's always really helpful to be able to get their perspectives as you are going through this evaluation process. Don't take the first best option. Okay, it's good to at least know that you have other options and that you are not choosing out of a place of desperation. Okay. I have found that makes such a big difference, because desperation begets desperation, and you end up with people that are not well aligned with where you're wanting to go. Okay, so those are just a few things that I wanted to mention to you today as you are thinking about whether you have the right team on board. And I think we'll all do well to remember that we are not here to do things alone, and we don't always do well if we try and do things alone. And we can go so much further, not just if we have team, but if we have the right team by our sides. Don't you think that's true? So our hashtag CFO sessions this month, we'll be elaborating on this theme a little bit, and we are going to consider things like managing our employees for not just performance, but also communicating vision and looking at OKRs and a whole lot more. So if you want to join our first live session this month, and we're going to be changing up the structure a little bit, the first session will be free. You can come join as we just do a little bit of a high touch or high level overview of all the things that we are going to be digging into. So what do you have to lose, right? Other than a little bit of a gaining some hashtag productivity going forward, right? So I will see you then. Enjoy your day. Bye.